Good morning. My name is Hillary, and this is Sunday Morning Live with John M. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Hillary, and happy Mother's Day to you, one and all. Perhaps a song to start with. I live in a music box, it's a very nice place to be. When my love, she needs a song, she comes and visits me. She only hears my music, she thinks that's all I know. It's a very lovely music box, as music boxes go. I live in a music box, and this is where I'll stay. My love comes to hear me sing, and then she goes away. There's so much more inside me that I wish that she could see. It's a very lovely music box, she made it just for me. Well, I live in a music box, but tell me, am I wrong to wish that I could show her that I'm more than just a song? I am a man of passion and of anger and of tears. Oh, the places I could take her if she'd take me out of here. Well, I live in a music box, it's a very nice place to be. When my love, she needs a song, she comes and visits me. She only hears my music, she thinks that's all I know. It's a very lovely music box, as music boxes go. Thank you. Thank you very much. Music box. That sound of the faint sound of clapping you hear is my special guest for this morning. I'm very happy to have her here. Please welcome Lisa Turner.
Hi.
Hi,
Happy
Lisa.
Mother's Day, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for coming in here and doing this with us.
Thanks for having me.
I will tell you that you have, and this was not something I planned. It was not intentional. In fact, we have tried to not have this happen, but as fate would have it, in over a year and a half of doing this show, you have the dubious honor of being only the second female guest that we have had on this show. And the first guest was Hillary. We got somebody else to do camera one day, and Hillary sat here with me and we chatted and stuff.
You're our featured music female guest.
So yes, you're our first featured music guest. So
Well, that's
welcome.
an honor. Thank you.
And for me too. I'm, as you know, and as a lot of people know, I've been a big fan of yours for quite a while. So we're going to let you play a song or two here in a second. But first, let's give people a little background. You're a singer and songwriter, obviously, and you've been writing, I imagine, for a long time.
So I didn't start writing music until I was in my early 30s.
Okay.
Yeah.
As opposed to singing, which when did you start playing guitar?
I took 10 weeks of chords when I was 11 years old at the YMCA.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had been playing cover songs for a long time, not well, but just, getting by to accompany myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I had some friends who heard me sing and just said, well, why don't you write music? And so I said, well, I don't know how to write music. And they said, well, just try. So they actually commissioned me to write a song for their wedding.
Wow.
And I did. And I went
Well,
out
I'd love to hear that song sometime.
Oh, gosh, I don't know if I can still play it. But, I went out to the Iguana Cafe. I had a couple of Indigo Girls songs rehearsed, and I was going to, do my very first gig out. And they told me no cover songs.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I went home and I was just determined to write a song. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
I'm the world is a better place because you did that.
Thank you.
So, and you also play piano? Yes.
No,
do I remember?
I
you?
don't.
I could
No.
have sworn I saw you play piano once.
Oh, really?
at a gig,
No,
yeah.
no. I can do the boogie woogie with my left hand.
Uh-huh.
I can do and I can do the two parts separately, but I can't put them together. My dad was a piano player, and we always had a piano. In fact, Lauren Adams has my family piano.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad passed in December, and
Yeah.
Lauren bought my dad's piano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that was how you got started writing. Was
Yeah.
friends asked you, and then once you realized, well, this is something I can actually do.
It became really therapeutic.
Yeah.
My first album I released in, '96, I think it was, called First Son, was really kind of cathartic, and it's full of songs about sort of like my past and my family dynamic, and there's some inspirational songs too, but that was my first album.
So now I know, I know some songwriters who write, and I probably fall into this group more than not, who write, they reach deep down into their into the well, their personal heart and soul, and they, the deepest, darkest, hardest to face stuff they put out there, and they dress it up in a song, so it's it's not too course, but that's how they write. And then I know other people who don't want to share anything too personal,
right?
So they just write, they make up stories, he met her, she took him home, and so you obviously kind of fall into that first group also. Yes.
Yeah.
But is that hard for you sometimes? Is it do I want people to know this, but do I want people to see this side of me? Do you ever go through that?
No, not really. I think what's been hard, my second album is 15 songs and a video, and 6 of those songs are about one person. And that was, during my dating years. And those are very intensely personal songs. The problem I have is that is my well, and that I haven't been writing a lot because I'm sort of out of that whole dating thing. I don't have dysfunctional relationships. I work on the relationship with
come
myself.
on. Get on.
Yeah. so yeah, like they I don't know, I've heard, songwriters don't really write well unless they're in some sort of tragic, horrible relationship. So I've had a little bit of a slow down.
Do you try to, I know there's some writers who they say, every morning at 10 I write, whether I have anything to write or not. I
practice pretty diligently, but I don't have a structured writing schedule. Writing is a mystical thing for me. I feel like melodies stalk me and land in me, and then they have a prosody, so a feeling that the song's supposed to bring out, and that's what happens. For me.
Do you tend to write melodies first or lyrics first? Or does it...
I tend to write melodies first. Yeah, and it doesn't always happen like that. There's been a couple songs. The first song on my first album, called Set Me Free, was a song that came to me in the bathtub. And I had to get out of the bathtub prematurely to write the song. And it all came out in a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
That whole song.
I've had that happen too.
Yeah,
That's a wonderful experience.
Yeah, it really is, yeah.
Well, you're in good company writing melodies first. Billy Joel once said in an interview that he said the music is always first for me. So he said I always write melodies first and chord progressions and whatnot, and I try to come up with the best, most interesting melody I can. And then he said the challenge becomes to come up with lyrics that are good enough to stand up to that melody.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
So well, cool. That's great. So you said you're slowing down writing. How many CDs do you have, or how many albums?
I have 2 CDs. The first CD has 10 songs. The second one has 15 songs and a video.
Yeah.
So 16 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all mine. Yeah, and the second CD is a live album, all done at my birthday show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's done at Hollenbeck's in North Hollywood. It used to be a music venue.
Yeah, I've played there many times.
They had an analog recording system in there.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
That was a fun place. They used to be a fun place. I've done a couple of like really, really crummy shows there where there was almost nobody there and it was kind of dead, you know.
Yeah.
And I did one of the best shows I've ever done
Interesting.
was at Hallenbach.
Yeah.
So I had a couple of friends visiting, a couple of musician friends visiting from out of state, and we put this thing together where we did a 3-way bill that night, and the place was packed.
Nice.
And I mean, people were laughing, crying.
Yeah.
It was great. So it's, you know, that magic when it's really good, it's really
Oh,
good.
yeah. That's for sure.
So,
Yeah.
well, I'm sure I'm going to come up with some more questions for you, but why don't you grace us with a tune?
I'd love to. Thank you. All right. So, I just want to let the audience know if I mess up, it's because I'm sitting down.
Do you want
You
to
can
stand?
stand if you
No,
like.
I'll sit. It's such a nice little intimate setting here.
Yeah.
And I'll just sit down and hope that I do well. This is my first song. It's called "Far From Done." So these are two recent
this one.
songs, and I wrote this. I actually quit because I got discouraged and thought it should be going somewhere much further than what I was achieving. So, and then this song came along, and I'm back. So, "Far From Done." All this time you have waited up against your dreams, trusting sight unseen what you created. And the time is rushing by you, knowing everything must die, but you want more time. You want more time. Oh, you are circling the sun, and every day seems shorter than the last, but you are far from done, far from all this time you have traded, put away those dreams that were bursting at the seams, and you dedicated your life for someone else. Do you think you have been left yourself so worn and faded? You're not faded. Oh, you are circling the sun, and every day seems shorter than the last, but you are far from done, far from done. Run away with me, 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 run away with me. Oh, you are circling the sun, and every day seems shorter, but you are far from done. You are far from
Woo!
Thank you.
Wow. Beautiful. I've heard you do that before, but I love that song, and I love the way. One thing I notice about a a lot of your songs and a lot of your delivery is that you actually, and very few people that I know do this, your songs are very emotional, but a lot of that emotion comes through in the melody as much as in the lyrics. You play with dynamics and with stepping pitches and things like that in a way that a lot of people, I think, including myself sometimes, a lot of people just rely on the lyrics alone to squeeze out a lot of feeling, and they'll put a lot of angst in their lyrics, and but you do it through the melody, and it's really cool. It's fun to listen to you. Yes.
Got lots and lots of hearts and thumbs up. Sandra Parker.
Oh, I know Sandra. Hi, Sandra.
And John Zipper,
She's
of
awesome.
course.
Hi,
Hey, John.
Angelina, Jimmy Hunter,
Jimmy.
Marilyn and Gary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Lots of people. You'll see them all
Thank
when we're done.
Thanks for
Welcome
watching,
to all of
everybody.
you. I usually this is a problem I sometimes run into on this show. When I do it solo, or when we have a little more time, I spend a little bit more time chatting with and schmoozing with people online. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming. And when I have a guest like yourself, I like to spend more time concentrating on them, and so less time acknowledging them. But this is me acknowledging you, and I'm glad you're here.
You'll have fun reading all the comments, Lisa.
So,
Really nice ones.
Oh, thanks.
so I know that you have at least one gig coming up, maybe a couple. I know you're playing Tuesday night at Matt Denny's Ale House.
Yes, I am. Tuesday night, yeah.
With let me see if I can remember it. With Jill Freeman.
Jill Freeman.
And Janie Thorne.
Janie.
I like saying Janie's Thorne's name that way. And one other person whom I'm spacing.
He has the
Gary
same
Stockdale.
birthday as me. Gary and I have the same birthday.
You and he have the
We
same
do.
birthday.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So Gary's wonderful too.
Yeah.
I like Gary. So yeah, that's going to be a good night.
Yeah.
It's,
I'm excited.
And then are there any others? After
August
that?
12th, I'm doing the Cellar Sessions at Old Oak Cellars in Pasadena.
Oh, great.
Chauncey is also doing his set, so we're splitting it. But of course, I'll sing with him.
I was going to mention Chauncey because I know that you sing with him
I
periodically.
do. I'm on his album. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and so well, that's going to be a show I'm going to have to come and see.
Thanks. Thank you.
So
You can put a link to both shows.
Okay,
you
cool.
can post in
on
the
the
comments, and we'll do
comments.
it too.
Nice.
but,
Okay.
Sometimes John Zipper does it for us.
Hint, hint.
You also do session work. I know.
I do. I do.
You're available for hire.
Absolutely. I write harmonies, and so people
cool.
just hand me songs, and I'll come up with what Lauren Adams has done that with some of the people she works with.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Ed Tree had some people come out from actually Georgia, I think it was. I can't remember his name. That's awful. Anyway.
You ever do any work with Ed Tree?
Yeah.
Any
He's
gigging
actually,
or-
I have another album that is very, very slow and painful to get out. Ed and I have 2 songs done. So that one.
This will be your album.
Yeah, of all my new stuff. So
Great.
I do have lots of new stuff that I haven't put in an album. So so I have at least 10 to 12 that I'm working on. So
Do you have do you find like when you perform? And I imagine it's exacerbated when you have new songs. But do you go through that? Which songs can I not play tonight? Thing.
well, I think when I write a song, I fall in love with it. It is a real feeling of falling in love. It's just such a great feeling to have written a song, and yeah, although there's that whole
because there's going to be some songs that the audience is dying to hear, and the old favorites. So.
so sometimes it's hard to do that. So.
Yeah, I go through that too. I'm trying to put a set list together sometimes, and it's my least favorite gigs are the ones we get so many of in this area where you have to do 3 or 4 songs.
Yep.
And so I always end up relying on my 3 or 4 staples, that everybody's heard 1,000 times, but they're my strongest songs.
I actually have to sort of plan it around tuning also, because I have I do a lot of alternate tunings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I will arrange the set so that the first half will be like in standard, and the other ones will be in the weird ones that I do. So
some people use multiple guitars for
well, I have
exactly
a new guitar
that
coming.
reason.
I just bought a new guitar, so I'm going to leave I got a Washburn, and I'm going to leave that in standard. And then Emily is actually, this is my guitar Emily, she's a little Ibanez. She's actually set up for alternate tuning.
Yeah.
So I went to McCabe's, and they adjusted the truss rod and the fretboard so that she could be in dadgad.
Huh.
Yeah.
Now, see, I'm learning something new. I would not have thought... Well, I mean, I know you can technically tune any guitar to dadgad or whatever tuning you want, but I did not know that it's...
Yeah.
It makes it better.
It's
if
a
they
looser.
do that.
It's a looser tuning. The strings are not as taut.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
So it's good to have a setup like
Cool.
that. Yeah.
Well, you got another one for us?
I do. I'm going to play you my newest song.
Yay!
And I don't...
I was going to ask you if you wanted to play a new one, and I thought, no, don't push. Let her play what she wants.
Yeah, this one is... I don't... Maybe I've done this out maybe once or twice. And I got to... she gets a little sharp when you go up the fretboard, so I'm just going to tune her real quick. So I don't play this one very often. Yeah.
You ever try a G7 capo?
No. So that's a small one?
This will fall just short of an endorsement, because I've tried them and I love G7 capos, and one of their big selling points that they claim is that it detunes the guitar less than most capos do.
Really?
You can just put it on and the guitar pretty much stays in tune. And they're wonderful. They are insanely expensive.
Oh.
They're like $50-$60.
Wow.
And I sometimes you can find them for 40 or 45, and I've gone into music stores and I'm like, are you kidding? It's a capo.
Maybe
I can buy one for $5.
Maybe try Amazon. They're much cheaper usually.
Try where?
Amazon.
Yeah. But they are good. Go ahead.
I know hope cannot rescue me.
nice.
Well, I missed
That's-
the lyrics and the chords a couple times, but it's all right.
No, I didn't notice.
Oh.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thanks.
No, really, really nice. That's brand new.
Brand new. Yeah.
So let's dispense with some quick and simple basics. Where are you from originally?
Born in Van Nuys, California, raised in La
Really?
Crescena.
Wow.
La Crescena,
So
California.
you're a
yeah. I'm a local girl. My
you're an
grandparents
alien.
grandparents bought their home in Glendale, California in 1941 for $8,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you have a fairly large family, and there are other musically gifted people. in
Well, I
your
have two
family.
sons who both sing with me,
Right.
and their dad. We do some a cappella doo-wop and some old Irish folk music, and the boys and I will do like an Ed Sheeran song, and yeah, so it's always been music. Yeah,
Yeah.
My older boy's classically trained guitar virtuoso. He's amazing. He's
Wow.
such a good guitarist and songwriter and singer. Yeah, and then Chris plays too, my youngest. Yeah, so yeah, smart boys.
Yeah. So, and we've already mentioned the gig you have coming up. Is there anything that I'm overlooking that you want me to touch on?
No, not really. People watching out there, I am available for house concerts. I mean, I would love to, be able to come
Me
out.
too.
And gigs and, any kind of, people want me to come and play, I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Well, they'd be lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Why don't we? I'm going to go ahead and ask you if you want to squeeze in one more. Do you have a third song ready?
Sure, I'd love to.
And
yeah,
then I'll
actually.
finish it off after that.
All right. Okay. Let's see. Okay. It'll just be a quick.
I will mention while Lisa is retuning that next week our guest here on Sunday Morning Live will be Jules Shear. I almost said Ed Sheeran because you just mentioned Ed Sheeran. Jules Shear, wonderful songwriter, and we've been looking to have him on for quite a while. And so next week is the week. We will be with him here, and lots of other cool things coming up in the weeks to follow. And thank you all, as I always say, for both for liking and for sharing. And for inviting your friends and telling your friends about us. Today's show, when we finish streaming it live, it will remain on my Facebook page, as they all do. So you can let people know, and they can tune in later and watch it, or you can tune in and watch it again. And within the next couple of days, it'll be on our YouTube channel. You have a YouTube channel? Yes, we have a YouTube channel. It's you go to YouTube, YouTube.com, and just look for Sunday Morning Live with John M. And all the shows will be there, listed by both the date of the show and the guest. So you can just look for Lisa Turner's name, and it'll be there. So, are we ready?
Yeah, thank you so much for letting me do this. It's been awesome.
Oh, thanks for doing it.
This is a song from my second album, Red Jasper Sun, and it's called 700 Days. In the 700 days or so I've known you, I have opened up my heart and let you in. When I brought you in, you said that's what you wanted. But you don't want me, not the real me. I have learned. I have learned if I am quiet, you won't hate me. I have learned that there is always something wrong. I have learned that I have opened up too often. Now I don't wonder why you never stay too long anymore. I have learned that I sit still beside the sea of love, and I don't jump in. I may get a chance to swim, but only on your whim. And I am drowning you say the words I love you. 'Cause that is surely not the way it feels. You don't love me, not really. I have learned, oh, I have learned. In the 700 days or so I've known you, you have closed all the doors and locked me out. But I have learned that it is only fear at battle, because love scares you, terrifies you. Fear will destroy you, crucify you. I have learned, I've learned, I've learned, oh, I have learned.
Wow,
Beautiful.
that's a beautiful song.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thanks, Facebook.
Very, very intense.
Yeah.
And I won't ask you who it's about or who it was written for.
It's that same guy, the 6 songs, you know.
Well, thank you so much for doing this. You know, you remind me a little bit of Tom Kell, who was a guest here. I don't know if you know him.
I don't.
He's a wonderful singer-songwriter, and he does a duet vocal thing now with Paula Fong, and he has a lot of, most of the songs he writes are very kind of tortured soul, angst-ridden, you know, kind of songs, and they're beautiful. And you know, when he was a guest here, he said, you know, really, I'm not that depressed a guy. You know, in my day-to-day life, I'm generally pretty content with things, but yet all these songs I have are...
Once you write them, it's sort of like therapy, you know? It's out of you, and you can
I
emote
agree.
it.
I agree. It's very cathartic, and it's, you know, it's just, it's a way to let things out. And I've always found for myself that writing those kind of, you know, tortured soul kind of songs is somehow easier than writing happy songs.
Yeah, right.
It's, you know, I mean, you have so much more of a palette to work with.
Yeah.
You know, Ronnie Cox once told me, he said when he was talking about acting, and he said, you know, if you're acting a villain, you have the entire, you have all the colors of the rainbow, the whole palette. You can you have all these different textures. So if you're playing a hero, it's basically red, white, and blue is all you got. You know, you just got to be the good guy. You know, but so, and I kind of feel that way about songwriting. Although I try to write every once in a while. I try to write something that has a little positive energy to it. Like, for example, this song, which you all knew I was going to play this song today. Some of you probably thought I was going to open the show with it, which is why I didn't, because I like to be unpredictable, just out of spite.
Yeah.
But this is probably my most requested song, and today's the day to play it. If you feel like chiming in anywhere, that's fine.
Okay.
If you don't feel like it, that's fine too. But this, of course, is my mother and me. Happy Mother's Day to you all. She taught me how to tie my shoe, how to walk and how to run, how to talk and how to listen, 1, 2, 1. She taught me how to write my name, how to write a song. She taught me how to play the game, right from wrong. She taught me how to walk in the light and live by the golden rule, and sometimes how to stand and fight. My mama didn't raise no fool. And what you see is what you get, and if you like what you see, little closer. That's my mother and me. She taught me to be faithful, chapter and verse, and how not to be wasteful with this planet Earth. And she told me life is sacred and love is divine, and prejudice and hatred are diseases of the mind. She taught me how to walk in the light and live by the golden rule, and sometimes how to stand and fight. My mama didn't raise no fool. What you see is what you get, and if you like what you see, hey, look a little closer. That's my mother and me. Now you can see it in the places I've been to. You can see it in the things I believe. You can see it in the things that I'm into. The mark of my mother in me. Now in your eyes I'm a stranger, and in her eyes I'm a star. And I can still remember when she bought my first guitar. And I go where my heart leads me now, with the wind at my heels. I am what my mother made me, and I like the way it feels. Hey, she taught me how to walk in the light and live by the golden rule, and sometimes how to stand and fight. My mama didn't raise no fool. What you see is what you get, and if you like what you see, well, look a little closer. That's my mother in me. What you see is what you get, and if you like what you see, I look a little closer. That's my mother in me. Yeah. Thank you. That was nice there at the end. Thanks a lot. That's my mother and me. It's the most recent version of that is on my CD M6. And there is a video for it on YouTube, and currently on my Facebook page, a full band studio video, which I encourage you to check out. A lot of great people playing on that. Chad Watson is playing bass and mandolin on that. Nick Kirgo playing guitar.
Nice.
Dave Beyer on drums. Bunch of cool stuff. So check it out. Thank you for joining us. That's going to do it for us this morning. But thanks for joining us as always. This is Sunday Morning Live. We'll be back next Sunday. My thanks to my very special guest, Lisa Turner.
Thank you, John and Hillary. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
and happy Mother's Day to you. Hillary, any parting thoughts for anybody?
Yes, thank you everybody for joining us, and have a great week.